activates National Emergency Operations Center and flood relief distributed to residents in regions 2 and 3. Welcome to InfoHub. It's Wednesday, October 2. We have lots to tell you. Government has activated the 24-hour National Emergency Response Center to address the effects of abnormal spring tides and subsequent flooding in some vulnerable regions.
This is the second time since its formation in 2015 that the Emergency Operations Center has been operationalized. It was activated due to a breach of the sea defense, which resulted in flooding. The situation has affected approximately 400 households across 65 coastal communities over a stretch of 148 kilometers. Responding to the situation on Tuesday, stakeholders from various agencies apprised the media of the damage caused by floodwaters. The agencies also revealed the steps that are being taken to prevent a similar incident as the next spring tide is expected on Saturday, October 26. Minister of Public Infrastructure, the Honorable David Patterson, indicated that keen attention is being paid to a particular stretch of sea defense in Danzig on the east coast of the Marara. He noted that this specific area is where the ministry has undertaken corrective works.
Since early on in the year, due to the weather patterns and those things, the area land access to this particular area was compromised. So therefore, we were actually doing interventions from March of 2019.
The urgent press conference initially heard from the Ministry of the Presidency's Director General, Joseph Harmon. He noted that a considerable amount of money has already been spent on the area and an application will be made to secure additional monies via the contingency fund to continue interventions. The monies, he noted, will only be requested once all of the ministries and agencies complete assessments, since it will cover interventions at all levels. These will cater not only to infrastructure and emergency works needed to bring much-needed relief to citizens who are affected, but also to health, among others.
We want to be very clear and to be very sure that what we're asking for has to do with this emergency, so that, as in previous years when people use emergencies to do all sorts of different things, we are very precise about what it is that we're doing. And so at the level of the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, at the level of the Ministry of Social Protection, the level of the Ministry of the Communities, at the level of the Ministry of Public Security, Public Health, and the Civil Defense Commission, that there are people who are actually working now to see what is necessary to approach the Ministry of Finance.
Taking into consideration the current situation of the spring tide, the fact that climate change is occurring and will continue in this century and beyond, and the fact that the majority of the affected areas are low-lying, Minister Patterson spoke of what is needed in the future to prevent similar occurrences.
One, we have to build climate-resilient infrastructure. And obviously the long-term situation is to anticipate how much higher this wave actions would be in, say, another 20, 30 years, and build our infrastructure to be able to withstand that. The medium-term issue, the short-term is to close the beach. The medium-term issue is to construct a full riprap structure along that entire stretch. Of course, that is an expensive undertaking.
The opposition and civil society members will be briefed on the efforts, flood impacts, and updated on the situation as it unfolds. The Civil Defense Commission and the ministerial teams are spearheading relief efforts in the affected areas. Works on a sea defense breach at Maikoni, which was exacerbated by the spring tides, continue. Residents in low-lying and riverine areas are advised to take the necessary precautions during the next spring tide on Saturday, October 26, and to heed advice provided by the CDC in preparations ahead of that expected tide. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
Minister of State, the Honorable Dawn Hastings Williams, along with officials from the Civil Defense Commission and the Regional Democratic Council on Tuesday, returned to deliver assistance to residents in the Essequibo Islands West Demerara region who were affected from the recent flood waters.
The support follows a thorough investigation and needs assessment by the same team on Monday. The recipients in Zealot, Cornelia Ida, and Anna Katerina areas also receive a month's supply of food items.
And today I am back here as we promised. We promised that we're going to deliver some food hampers to help them, because at the moment some of them, their food items were soaked, and it's not palatable for them.
Thus far, the team's assessment indicates that there is a total of 85 families whose homes were affected by the recent flooding due to the spring tide. Minister Hasten Williams says that while they could not visit every household, a team is working ceaselessly to evaluate what else is needed in the affected communities, as citizens' well-being is paramount to the government.
We will continue to. I understand there's some families are also affected in Denham-Stell and CDC. We will continue to deliver them. I don't want them to feel that they are being left out, but we will also go to do our assessment there and deliver what we can to assist them.
Recipients of the aid had this to say about the relief supplied.
We got a little donation because right now everything, go when you water off your fisherman, so we can't go work right now. So we thank for a little donation and glad people come check me out.
Oh God, this is great help what the minister do, right? Because helping to buy feed. I don't buy no feed yet for the chicken because my husband is a pensioner. He didn't get the old age as yet. He never collect to the forest. So until next week he will go collect. He doesn't like go to the forest. And this feed helped me out a lot with the settle I got there now because all the feed wet. I got to go out on the road and buy like 10 pounds for support them, keep them alive. And this is great help.
Additionally, on Monday, the team had mobilized drinking water and several cleaning supplies which were delivered to families in the identified areas. Neola Damon, InfoHub.
With a date now confirmed for general and regional elections, Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Dr. Karen Cummings, this morning reiterated that Guyana is in good and regular standing within the framework of its constitution and that the agitation around the country is uncalled for.
Dr. Cummings outrightly rejected statements by the ABE countries which claimed that the coalition government was in breach of Guyana's constitution. While the statements were made before the proclamation of the election date by His Excellency President David Granger, the Foreign Affairs Minister today underscored that the country has always been abiding by the rule of law. She said the government was able to clear up a number of misconceptions being peddled by the opposition to the Commonwealth Secretary General Baroness Patricia Scotland and Secretary General of the United Nations Antonio Guterres about the country's state of affairs. The officials also offered their assistance to Guyana in preparation of elections.
When they would have looked and see Guyana, we're going ahead with our development agenda, and it's business as usual, so to speak. We know a date has been fixed. We know elections are duly, it's a part of our constitution. We will abide by that. We had under this Barini Benab, that's what you call it, Barini Benab, where we met with all stakeholders, all members of the diplomatic corps, and the President would have outlined the way forward. The reason, the consequential orders, what it means. And so, we have spoken at length. So all this agitation, I think, is uncalled for.
Minister Cummings said that there is no issue in Guyana that should warrant interference by other countries.
In Guyana, there's no war. We have a little hiccup here and there, but, there's no this mid-side protest, lives being lost and all of that. So, I don't think we need sanctions at this point in time because we're very peaceful citizens. We're going along our busy way, who's going to the market, who's going to work. And so it's a peaceful, thank God we have maintained the peace.
His Excellency President David Granger on Tuesday issued 2 proclamations officially naming March 2, 2020 as the date for both general and regional elections. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Still to come, 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi observed and 31 electrical standards approved. Details of these after the break.
Are you ready to embark on a truly epic adventure to an undiscovered corner of South America, where some of the most spectacular natural attractions are unveiled within a beautifully diverse landscape? From the wetlands and savannas to the ancient mountains, magnificent waterways and lush enriching rainforest would provide a vast playground for some of the most exotic and breathtaking creatures on the planet, including many of the world's giant species. this untouched land of mystery and wonder serves up an exclusive experience for travelers. So are you ready for a new, awe-inspiring adventure? Welcome back to nature. Welcome to Guyana.
Thanks for staying with us. October 2, 2019 marks the 150th birth anniversary of the well-known pacifist Mahatma Gandhi. The government of Guyana this morning joined in celebration with the Indian High Commissioner's office.
At the celebration held at the Promenade Gardens, Prime Minister the Honorable Moses Nagamutu, in his remarks noted that the country is celebrating an extraordinary human being.
So we are celebrating the life of someone who has been extraordinary, who had shown that he preferred to live the life of the common person. So we have learned in the years of Gandhiji's life and teaching tremendous lessons that would guide us, those of us particularly who are in government, those of us who are involved in the art of governance, that we should always be above questioning, and we should never be afraid to lift our hands and say the hands are clean, because that's the moral message.
Also highlighting the effective works of Gandhi was Indian High Commissioner His Excellency Dr. K. J. Srinivasa.
Gandhiji was Indian, but he belonged not just to India. Today, this event is a living example of this. The people whom Gandhiji never met were also greatly influenced by his life. Whether it was Martin Luther King Jr. or Nelson Mandela, the basis of their ideas was Gandhiji's vision. Gandhiji never tried to make an impact from his life, but his life became the cause of inspiration. Today, we are living in the era of how to impress, but Gandhiji's vision was how to inspire. Gandhi was not only a political leader, but also a great thinker and humanist.
Also attending today's event were ministers of government, His Worship the Mayor of Georgetown, Pandit Yubraj Narain, and members of the Diplomatic Corps, among others.
Reporting from the Promenade Gardens with videographer Anil Silal, Rebecca Ganesh, InfoHub.
31 compulsory national electrical standards have been recently approved by the Guyana National Bureau of Standards in collaboration with the Government Electrical Inspectorate.
The standards, which will be effective from February 1, 2020, were created as a result of several substandard electrical products found on the market. Minister of Business, the Honorable Hemraj Rajkumar, said it is a step in the right direction for Guyana to embrace quality standards as a tool in national development. He noted that it will also give Guyanese access to the highest quality of products.
Quality standards play a very important role in society, and particularly these standards are designed to ensure that the general safety through reduction of electrical fire hazards in our society, as well as to remove inferior electric products from our markets. It helps that all importers will have to play by the same rules. We must all work together so that we can ensure that what comes to our country meets and exceeds the national quality standards that will be implemented.
Director of the Guyana Competition and Consumer Affairs Commission, Don Kush, commended the proactive approach by the agencies.
For too long, substandard products have plagued our markets, creating not only a premise for unfair competition for suppliers of quality products, but more so a safety hazard for consumers who utilize these products. The implementation of these standards will seek to create a level playing field for suppliers, while the consumers receive value for money and safer products.
Head of the Product Compliance Department, Shailendra Rai, reminded that the standards are mandatory and must be complied with. He said that strict inspections will be carried out on all electrical products to maintain a high standard. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
Before we close, here's a reminder. GCOM's Claims and Objections exercise begins on October 1 and ends on November 18, 2019. During this period, Persons who are 18 years or older or will become 18 by December 31, 2019, and persons whose names appear on the preliminary list of electors are to visit the registration office in their respective district to verify their registration records for inclusion on the official list of electors. Also, persons whose names appear on the central registrar can also make changes or corrections to their particulars or transfers. This countrywide exercise is being conducted at all GCOM offices. That's all for today. Connect with us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. Much more news is on our website, dpi.gov.gy, and pop over to Instagram for the latest photo updates at DPI Guyana. Your bridge and weather reporter up next. Goodbye for now.